Hey, you guys. It is Tuesday. It's 12 o'clock Central. This is Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. I am Trisha Turner. I am here with Kim Maher today, and I am super excited. She's going to be bringing us some positive energy. She's going to be giving you guys some success secrets. She is in real estate. And I want to kind of say a little message because I know a lot of people know that my father passed away yesterday. And Kim, I was messaging Kim last night about the show, and she's like, "Are we really going to do this? Didn't your father just pass away?" And I was like, "He did, and we are, because that's the way my family is, and that's the way my dad was. You don't dwell on things that you, especially things you can't change. I can't bring him back." And my dad was a self-made man. He was an entrepreneur. He had his own business all of my adult life and was very successful, and then started buying up real estate, and he was buying up commercial buildings. That was the thing that he liked. And so he did that my whole adult life as well. And then as he got older, he started selling them off because it was hard for him to manage. He managed them all himself. And then he had a stroke, and then it was really hard for him to manage. And so he lived to be 86 years old, and we learned a whole lot of stuff from my dad. And I thought, you know what, this is a really good thing that we're going to do this today, because this show is Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. And that is what he did. And that is what I model. And that is what our show is about, is bringing positivity to the world to help people out there that to know, look, you can do this. If I can do it, Kim can do it. You guys can do it too. So y'all get ready to take some notes. Kim's going to unload on us. Hi, Kim.
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
Heck yes. Okay, so first of all, we got to tell everybody where you are in the world, how long you've been in real estate, and kind of a little bit of numbers for, I know you and I talked about it off screen, like numbers where you are so far 2021.
Okay, and you guys are laughing. I gotta let my dogs out. They keep whining at the back door. So, hold on. So I am in Dallas, Texas. I actually got my license back in 1994. However, my husband is a real estate appraiser. So we started our own company called Appraisal House in 1997. So I was fortunate enough, sorry you guys, I was fortunate enough to be able to just raise 3 kids, and stay home and do a little bit with his company as far as book work or whatever. But my license was inactive. So yes, so I just kept it inactive for many years. And then I kind of hit a place in my life, turning almost 50, maybe call it midlife, that I was like, okay, I've been a great mom. I've been a great wife. But what am I going to do with my life? Why am I here? Like my purpose was missing. Like, what's my purpose now? Right. It was funny. A lady, and she was an Uber driver, and she drove my husband out. We were going on a date night. We go out on date nights like once a week. So she was driving. I was complaining of stuff I didn't do. Like I didn't do enough volunteer work, and I was like kind of getting on myself. And
why were you doing that?
I don't know. I was just mad that I wasn't there. And this is like 5 years ago. And the Uber driver says to me, "I'm so sorry. Can I kind of cut in?" And I was like, "Sure." She goes, "You do realize there's a season for everything. And maybe you haven't hit that season yet, but it'll come." And I was like, it stuck with me because, my season at the time was being a mom, and raising kids. But that season was done. And I was like, uh-oh, what am I going to do? So that's kind of where I was 2 years ago with my life. Like, what am I going to do with my life now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so then you decided to activate your real estate license?
So, well, it took a little, I'll tell you. So I actually, don't ever do this, you guys. Okay. Don't ever do this. All right. Don't ever get on a scale. Like I can do one for 5 years on a Monday morning at 5 a.m. Just don't do that. Why would you do that? So I did that. And I realized I was like 30 pounds heavier than what I should have been. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we are going to turn into Forrest Gump. We are out of here. So I started walking, and I just basically told God, I was praying, and I just said, I'm not going to stop walking until I get answers. So we're just going to keep going. So ever since 2 years ago, I walk 4 miles every day.
I love that.
Around the same time, right? Because I'm still getting answers. It never ends. Like answers come, but then you still want more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my spiritual time. So I walk around the lake, and I go 4 miles, and I get my head right with ball on what I need to do.
So do you walk listening to anything? Or are you
No, it is peace and quiet. It's just me just praying or, trying to think about being positive, think about the good things I have in my life. And to be honest with you, praying about what, just saying prayers. That's all it is for an hour.
I love that though. So how long does it take you to do 4 miles?
It's a little over an hour, like an hour and 10 minutes.
Awesome though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then did you lose the 30 pounds?
I sure did. Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. Now,
I was like, I don't ask you that.
I did. Here's the deal. So when I first was frustrated, and I want to tell you guys this because I know that everybody has a point in their life where they might be a little frustrated, right? And you're like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? And I got to tell, because I was there. And basically when I started walking, I was like, all right, God, strike me with a lightning bolt and tell me what the heck I need to be doing with my life. Right. And I kept walking. And after 3 months, there wasn't a lightning bolt. I'm still like, but I'll tell you what, that third month, and I was very consistent. I was like, before I need to know what I need to do, I need to know what makes me happy. And what makes me happy is making other people happy. So what can I do? And then all of a sudden, like a lightning bolt, literally, it came in like, you have your real estate license. This is perfect. You're married to an appraiser. What the heck are you going into business for? And then it all and then the next day I would walk, and then it was like, what would we call ourselves? Mayor Properties. I mean, so boring, right? I mean, I couldn't come up with anything. And I was like, my life has been so magical. To this point, I've been so lucky and blessed. It's kind of, I want to bring magic into other people's lives, Mayor Magic. And so then Mayor Magic was born. And I will tell you this, I don't know if anybody's ever felt this, but it's the coolest feeling ever. So like when you get a chill? Okay, when Mayor Magic came in my mind, it was like a chill that went from the top of my head to my toes for like 30 seconds. I looked around. I mean, it was like the longest chill in my body. And I knew I was onto something. Like I was like, okay, we're going to start this.
Yes, you knew.
But then here's the next challenge. Next challenge is I just thought that I was so cool that I can get on Facebook and say, hey, Kim Maher, I have a real estate license. Call me.
Yep.
And my phone was quiet.
Oh yeah.
For a year, right?
Yeah.
Or good 6 months. And oh my God, this isn't going to work. And I don't have a plan B. So we got to make plan A work. And how's that going to go?
So do a timeline though. So was this before COVID started?
It was. In fact, it was before COVID. So basically November of 2020 was my 1 year. So I started in November 2019. 2020, I really did, and I did open houses. I mean, we just did what new agents, what they're told to do, call expired listings, which by the way, I don't want to do. Like that's not my gig. So basically you're figuring out what you don't want to do and you're figuring out what you do like, right?
Did you try those things?
I did try those things because I was told you should try them and you should like them. And Mayor Magic can bring so much magic into these people's lives that have expired listings. Okay, it's not for me. Like I didn't like calling. I actually got one expired listing. The grumpiest old man on the planet actually answered my cold call.
Oh my gosh.
And he was grumpy, yelling at me, saying, you're the 30th agent that's called me. And I'm like, oh my God, sir, I am so sorry. Hey, look, my company name's Mayor Magic. If I can't bring magic in your life, I'm just going to go ahead and leave. Okay. And he's like, wait, what did you say? Ended up getting the guy's listing. But I will tell you, he asked me, he goes, what did you learn from this? And I ended up selling his house and we're actually best friends now. We actually are.
I love that.
And he's adorable now, but he was very grumpy. But he did say, well, what did you learn from this? And I said, oh, I learned that I'm never going to call an expired listing. You are my one and done, my friend.
You found what you love.
What's important to a real estate agent, if you guys are wondering, you have to figure out what makes you happy and where you are more talented, where you have your talents, where they serve you well, right? You have to figure that out. And once you do, then all of your lead generation will come. It'll fall into place. But instead of listening, I had a coach telling me, expired. And I love him as a person, but there was some things I learned. Number one, it was a problem when he said, hey, you got a lot of high energy. Like you are high energy. You might need to kind of calm down.
Oh no.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, calm down. If my thing is, if you don't come up to my level, bud, then you can go find somebody else. There's 48,000 agents in the Metroplex. So my thing is, why would I change myself? Why would I get more compliments than not on it. So let's use that. And I don't have to change. And I think that's what real estate agents, we're so impatient because we think we're just going to get like deal. You are so into the deal that you don't look inside. You need to do a little inside search on what actually makes you happy, because it's not always about the transaction.
No.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it'll come, but you have to be patient, and it gets hard because that money's going out, right? I mean, you're spending a lot of money in real estate. I mean, it's the most expensive industry you can do, right? And you make a lot of mistakes. I sure did. So a lot of money is going out the door. But once you figure it out, and if you can figure out where you're good and where your strengths are and capitalize on those, you're going to be so fine. I promise. Because it happened to me. And if it happened to me, it can happen to anybody. I'm nothing special. I promise.
So you said probably your phone didn't ring for the first 6 months?
It did not. So I did open houses, and the open houses didn't call me really. Like the buyers, I kind of, it was kind of like a nurture thing. I sold my first year. I sold around 3 million.
Okay. But
my goal was 10 million.
Don't even do that.
My goal was 10 million. So I was just very disappointed. And I'm thinking, because I thought 10 million would be easy, right? I didn't realize how hard it was. You kind of go into it a little bit diluted, right? That it should be easy, right? It's not.
No.
So we had to just kind of back it down. I had to back it down and go back to basics, and that's what I did. So I concentrated on just going to basics, what makes me happy, how I could be of value, which is the magic to my clients, right? And go ahead and start out there.
So your first year, you did about 3 million with your phone not ringing about 6 months at a time. That had to have been a little bit defeating. How did you keep your mindset up? What were you focused on?
Okay, so guys, listen, this is so important for me and what works. And I wish I had like a magic wand for everybody, right? But I'm hoping that I have something for some. Honestly, it is exercising every day. Like just simple, if you're doing it for like 20 minutes, I don't care. But when I don't do my walks in the morning, I'm miserable. Like it doesn't click. And you have to do it at the same time and just make yourself go. If you can get in a routine, it really does. And the routine really in real estate, it kind of goes same for real estate too. It's focus, consistency, routine. Hey, we've all heard these words before from successful real estate agents. It all goes kind of hand in hand, right? It does. You have to stay focused, committed. Consistency is all the name of this real estate game. It really, really is.
Do you have a morning routine?
Yeah, like I go and walk, I walk really early at 6, and then I come back, take a shower, get dressed. And to be honest, you guys know, houses are going on and off the market so fast that I don't know my day from 1 second to the next, and I make it, so when we see a house on, I'm like, let's roll, or figure it out, but I'm dressed, ready to go, knowing and anticipating that clients are going to need me, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
So in the beginning, buyers are usually the easiest to work with. Was your focus on finding buyers or sellers? What did you look at?
My focus was finding anybody, to be honest with you. I was like, oh my God. I didn't have a focus on that part. I was like, come on, clients. Right? So, but it is easier to get the buyers. So mine was open houses. I did get on Zillow for a little while. I'm off of Zillow now. I don't need Zillow anymore, but I did Zillow for a teeny bit, which was successful for a little bit. Sure. And then open house, and then a couple referrals, but, my sphere of influence, hey, the thing is, everybody talks about this big sphere of influence. You have to have, the more sphere of influence you have, the better you'll be. Well, let me tell you guys something. Sphere of influence is not the end all be all, especially, for somebody like me. I have kids that are now old. So my sphere of influence would have worked back when they were little and I was volunteering in the school and I was just but I was out of that. So a lot of my sphere of influence, we don't have the relationship that we had before, and that's okay. So for me, that's not one of my pillars. I work that, I call and we kind of, they know I'm around. They know I'm a real estate agent. They know what I do, but I'm not counting that as one of my lead gen pillars. It's nice to get a referral. It's great. I've had like 2 or 3. But what my concentrations really are on things where I can bring in, where I can do it right now. And for me, it's open, an open house, or open houses. And also, I'm with Ylopo. So Ylopo has been it is a different animal. It's all it's different animal. I mean, it's top of the funnel. You're not getting people that usually are like ready to buy right away. But for me, I'm really good at nurturing those clients. So for me, that's a good deal. Also, I know you're on the local service ads, Google.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you?
Yes. And I had been really, when I first got on it, oh my gosh, I was crazy. I mean, second quarter, I did $8 million second quarter. I mean, it was nuts. Awesome. My phone was like ring. It was the craziest thing. And it was actually, oh my gosh, it was such a great feeling. Even though, you can't keep up being a single agent doing what I did. If I did that for too long, I wouldn't be around.
Do you have a transaction coordinator?
I do. So I did not have it second quarter. I do now, but second quarter, I did everything on my own. And let me tell you, hey, I had a 21-year-old, my son would come in at 3 a.m. and Mama Mayor is sitting here at the computer doing stuff. He's like, Mom, I can't believe you're still up. What are you doing?
You're working.
But it was focus, and it was doing what I had to do to get it while I can and taste that success. So now that it's tasted, now it's like my goals are, now we gotta roll, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing. Here's what's so silly. You're on this high, and I've never done drugs before. I'm a firstborn, so I kind of took care of everybody, right? So I wasn't like I didn't do any of that. But anyway, I would think this is the way that it feels. The amount of business that I did in such a short period of time, right, was kind of like a drug. Really, you were on this high that was just crazy. So, and then you close them all, right? So I had 17 buyers and like 3 listings. It was nuts.
That's awesome.
I had 15 closings, which most of them were in June. I mean, it was the craziest thing ever.
That's awesome.
But when that's over and you look at your board, I've got a board here that I put all my stuff on.
Yep, me too.
And now I'm at like 5 buyers maybe that are ready to go and like 3 listings. And you're kind of like you're kind of like you're ready for that next.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like I work best when I'm
busy.
Really busy. Yeah. So how do you keep your mindset right during these times?
Critical.
It's critical. And I'll tell you, I'm human. I woke up a couple times frustrated. I'm like, oh my gosh, my phone is dead. It's not ringing today. I'm irritated because I came up such a high. But you know what? You stay with the basics. This is a journey. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay focused and consistent, and it'll all come. You know what the great thing, Trish, about real estate is that you can kind of be like, your phone can be dead for a couple days. Then you can get that one call, and they're like, I'm ready to go buy a $2 million home, this home. And you're like, oh my gosh. And it just gets you like so excited again. So the cool thing is, you don't know what's going to happen, but you should wake up every day with the mindset that it's going to happen. Like we are going to rock and roll, right?
Something good is going to happen today. Always.
Something's going to happen today. I'm going to be dressed, ready to go because I am busting a butt out the door. I'm going to show homes this afternoon, and it's a nice, it's going to be a great little. So I didn't know that was going to happen. Late last night, they gave me a list of homes and let's roll. So you just be prepared and have the attitude like it's going to happen today. We're going to get this thing to work. Right.
There's a lot of real estate agents, they don't start their day like that. They don't have an alarm. They kind of just get up whenever. They don't really have a morning routine. I'm a big believer in the morning routine. I get up at 3:45 and we do a daily huddle here on my team at 8:30. It's on a Zoom link. And that's part of the daily huddle is you got to have video on and be dressed and ready for the day because you got to get started. I mean, you start the day early. The early risers are the ones that are the most successful in most circumstances.
Did you find that like when you're dressed in, like when you're working from home or because I work from home a lot. So, I do work from home. So I could be in my pajamas with no makeup on and I can just be like, I usually eat more that day. I usually snack more. I usually am not as focused, right?
Yes.
And let's not walk in the morning. Let's just say I took a day off. it is just a disaster. Like that routine is critical to your success.
It is. And so when you do it like that too, like you're doing, you're setting yourself up for things to happen that day. Because suppose your phone rings and someone wants to go see property in an hour and you're not dressed or showered or anything. You're going to look like an idiot, you know?
Right. Okay. So I'm going to tell you this. So I feel like this is the other thing that really helped me. Okay. And it's so hard to do, but if you can do this, I mean, everybody watching can do this. You're so nervous about your bills in the future. You're so nervous about your future, right? And you're probably a little mad that nothing's happened in the past. If you can get your mind to just say one thing, let me be the best I can be today. That's it. And put in front of me people I need to meet. Real simple. This is my everyday prayer. I pray it on the same dock every single day. I mean,
do you write it or do you just?
No, I just say it on the dock. And I just make me the best I could be today and put forth people that I need to meet. Okay. And thank you for my gifts, because I've got, the gifts that I've been given already, the clients, they're such a gift, each and every one of them. Right. So if you can do that and not focus on the future bills not being paid, not focus on what you didn't do yesterday, but focus on today. That is what y'all, that's why I've done 13 million this year. I mean, I have really kept that mindset. And when my mind goes and gets a little nervous, I come back. I'm like, I'm just going to focus on today. I think it's so important because you can get stressed out and you can sound stressed out on the phone. You don't want to sound that. You just focus on being the best you can be today, Yeah. And then what's funny is that the whole thing about put in front of me people I need to meet, when I was praying that prayer, I always thought it was physical. I thought it was like a physical person that I was going to meet. So everybody that walked by, I'm like, oh, was I supposed to meet them today? Or talk to? Like if they start talking to me, I'm like, oh my gosh. But what I realized was one day when I was at Wailopo, because you got to make some cold calls, right? They're warm calls, but they're kind of cold calls. Yep. And I would always get nervous. Everybody kind of gets a little nervous, right? So let's say you get a little nervous on the phone, you get nervous. Well, one day I was walking and the whole light bulb went off. What if the people that I'm praying for that I need to meet, what if it's not physical? What if it's Wailopo? Do you know, ever since I thought that, I was never nervous again. I call these calls and I'm like, it is like they have known me for 10 years. I am calling Jane Doe and she's like, Kim, and a lot of times they do know me because there's been so much that they've seen, know.
Oh, yes.
They're like, oh, Kim, what magic do you have for me today? I mean, I get that all the time. Do you have some magic?
I love it.
So I think that me not being nervous that's when I started just being like, they're like my buddies and like, I'm going to call and see if they need help. If they don't, that's fine too. I'll take you off, whatever. It doesn't matter. No. It was a huge transition for me. It was huge knowing that.
So with your routine, you're buying leads. So then are you making calls to those leads every day? Is it a daily thing?
I am. So I'm trying to get better for that. Now, second quarter, obviously, with the amount of business influx that came in, I obviously was not doing that. And I'm hurting for it now, right? Yep. There were a couple people that I left behind, I feel bad about, that I got in touch with yesterday. And I was like, God, you kick yourself, but then there's only so much you can do. So you just got to move on. You got to just, let's go, move on. But yes, I try to do it at least 3 times a week, 2 hours. Let's do 2 hours, 3 times a week at least.
So are you using a CRM as well?
So my CRM is Follow Up Boss, and I love it.
Okay.
It is such a great CRM for me because it can tell you exactly who to call, who's, it just is it makes it very, I'm a simpleton. Like I want it to be easy. And it makes it really easy for me. It's not complicated. I know exactly who I need to call. I've got them in my little stages, and I just do what I need to do. I call and, and most of the time, a lot of times it's successful, and the ones that aren't, there was a reason for it. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. We're going to rock on it. That's right. That's right.
And so many people do. You have to just move on. You can't be in control of everything. We're not.
There's so many different people. And, it's funny. You find that like you do attract people alike, like you, and that's why I so say just be yourself and just rock and roll. I mean, honestly, life's too short otherwise, right?
It is.
So
the real estate industry is a hard industry to be successful in. You're only in year 2. You're doing more than some people have done in 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
It's a magic to that.
But hey, it's nothing, you know, I got to be honest, it's nothing special. If I could do it, anybody can do it. But it is a matter of really caring about that client. You know, really, it's not about the transaction for me. It's more about my passion to kind of like bring magic in your life. I mean, that's really, honestly, I mean, it's so corny, but it just is what it is. And it's worked, you know? And here's another good thing to take away is I found that the more honest I am with, let's say, buyers, okay, and seller, I mean, both of them. But let's say for a buyer, as crazy as this market is, and I think it's slowed down a little bit, but back in May when we had going against 20 offers, right? And I wasn't going to lose because it just makes everybody tired. They want that house, but we're not losing the offer. We're going to go strong. We're going to go in strong, and we're going to do things to do that. But I was always very upfront with my buyers before I even went and looked at houses. I was like, hey, how much cash do you have? Because we're going to have to do an appraisal addendum. And here's how much you're going to have to go over. And that amount changed based on the neighborhood or how many, right? So it kind of changed, but we're going to have to go over. And this is what you have to be prepared for. And I would give them worst case scenario. And then usually we're celebrating in the end because it's so much better.
Because you won.
And the appraisal came back right at value. I mean, at the end, the appraisals worked out. I mean, there was only one that was a little bit less, but I will tell you, so it was really good. And I was thinking I was scaring the heck out of my buyers when in actuality, it was bringing them into me. They were like, where do I sign up? It was the craziest thing. I mean, everybody that I talked to, they're like, okay. I mean, I'm so glad you told me. Where do I sign? So I trusted you. Do what?
They trusted you.
They trusted you. And I think it's so important with a real estate agent. The number one thing you have to do from the get-go is gain that trust. How are you going to do that? Because then on the flip side, you've got a lot of buyer's remorse, right? Oh, yeah. So when you list a home, you understand that a lot of them are falling through.
Yes.
Right? Why? Because you know what I feel like? I feel like the buyer's agent did not establish enough trust with the client to where when they get buyer's remorse, they can talk them off the cliff. Nobody's going to walk away from, my buyers aren't going to walk away from the deal because I was upfront with them in the beginning, right? And when they have that buyer's remorse, I'm like, guys, I wouldn't sell you a house I didn't think was incredible in the first place, right?
Yes.
And they knew that. They're like, oh my gosh, Kim, what were we thinking? Let's roll, you know? So I think the number one thing for a real estate agent at this point in time is trust. Once you can gather that trust, being a listing agent, buyer's agent, whatever you're doing, you're going to win, right? So how are you going to do that? And it's truly being honest. It's truly being the best interest of that client is what that's all it is. It's easy. It's not rocket science.
Okay, I believe in like 3 pillars of success. Like you have to have things that you devote most of your time and money to be successful. If you had 3 things that you're doing, what would you say those 3 things are?
Okay, so right now at this time, so I know where I'm successful, or I've been told, you know, you kind of like listen to people, and if, you know, and kind of what kind of happens. And it's somewhere where I have not done what I needed to do, which is video, like YouTube. So that's my next thing is a YouTube channel and getting more on the video side.
There you go.
So most of my money, so that's where I'm concentrating right now, is to get these videos edited up, you know, and it's just the beginning stages of this.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It does not. So we're doing that. And then for me, you know, I'm good on the phone. I can, you know, people think that they've known me forever. So for me, the phone calls with Ylopo are working. You know, the local service ads are incredible. Now they have slowed down because more people are getting on it. So they slowed down a little bit, but it's still, if you're not on the local service, I mean, you should do it. So that, and then also I'm really, you know, hey, I'm in the mindset that if I took so much, it was so hard to get this client in from wherever they were, I better keep that damn client.
Yes.
Right. So for me, I am like calling them, everyone, you know, I get, like D Magazine, it's $8 a month. to do a full year subscription, and you have your name, Mayor Magic, on the subscription. How insane is that? And they get it every month, and they see you.
Yeah.
Anything that you can do to be front center, front mind with the clients that you had, because they're your biggest fans right there, right? So, and now I'm around 40 or 50 of them, so 40 of them anyway, that's 40 transactions. So since I started, so you could build that,
Yeah. Are you doing direct mail or postcards to them?
I am just to my sphere, but it hasn't paid off yet, but I keep doing it. And I'll tell you what's so funny is, oh my gosh. And this is what you want, right? Like my husband's friend is like, oh my God, I see you everywhere. This is kind of funny. He goes, I see your newsletter. Then I get on my phone in the morning and I'm on the toilet. And I see you on an ad on Facebook. He's like, what the heck? But that's what you want, right? So I do send out newsletters, and I feel like my newsletters have good, I don't want to send out junk. So I make my own newsletter, and it's about what's going on at that time. And people seem to enjoy it. So I do send that out. Now, as far as getting people in my immediate neighborhood, which I would die for, I have one lady, I'm going to break it, but there are a couple agents in here that have been doing it for 30 years, right? Yeah. So we'll break the mold, but I have to be patient with it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and doing that. So, yeah.
What about community events? Do you get involved in any?
So I do. So I actually joined with a group of women, 6 women, called the Live Local Group, and they've been in the business so long, and they're badasses. They're all really awesome. Mm-hmm. And every quarter, at least, we do charity events. Okay. So like we're filling up a huge truck, a huge glass truck, 17-foot truck, 17 or 27, I don't know, but a big truck. Okay. Last year we filled it up, and then we gave $10,000 to the DISD schools to fill up all their pantries. And then I also give back. Mayor Magic gives back. I just gave $4,000 to Carry the Load Foundation. Which is great. It helps the military when they go when they get hurt or they have PTSD. They do a ton of stuff, and all of the money, like 95% of the contributions go directly toward the military. So I like that, so I just do things. I definitely give back because I think it's important. That's part of what the magic is about. My whole thing is, look, Mayor Magic is going to, and I've got big visions, to be honest with you. What
you got? Tell me.
Well, what's funny is, okay, so someone asked me, how do you know you're going to be successful? And this is the time where I don't even think I had my first transaction. And so I said, and the first thing out of my mind was when I could just wake up and give away money one day. And then I thought, that's kind of crazy. When am I ever going to be rich enough to just give away money? I've got 3 kids in college, right? So like our expenses are through the roof.
Absolutely.
Okay, well then COVID hit. Okay, this is your COVID. So COVID hit, and I actually had my first transaction, which is it was like $800,000. Okay.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. This is so funny. From an open house, that was a dud. Nobody came to this open house. And I had made cookies because I wanted the house to smell good. It was like my first open house, but nobody showed. It was in a community that you can't even get into. There was a gate. It was so ridiculous. This realtor never told me those little tidbits, right?
Oh, yes.
So I had these cookies, and I was just like, oh no, this is not going to be a dud. I am going to go. And it was a beautiful day. So I took my little plate of cookies out to people walking their dogs. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Here's the cookies. Taste my cookies. I'm Kim Maher with Coldwell Banker. And the one lady goes, wait, my daughter's moving from Houston to Dallas. Really? Love to help her. Wow. And that's that transaction. That's how that transaction worked.
Crazy.
Oh, I know. So you never know. It's just silly.
No, but how awesome is that? But that was again mindset, because most people would have been just packing their stuff up and like, oh well, that was a crappy day.
That's right. It is mindset. That's right. Yes. Like, I'm here anyway. I'm not going to make this. At least I should go do that. At least I should go do something useful, right?
Yes, you went out and handed out cookies.
That's right. So anyway, COVID hit. I closed on this transaction, and I told my husband, I was like, I need to just, I'm going to give it, we're going to give money away. And he's like, are you crazy? I go, no, I'm not crazy. We're going to give 5% of it away. So I ended up buying people's groceries, gave $500 to somebody that lost their job in COVID, right? They had just lost their job. They were in, and I got referred to them by a coach in this school that they were like in dire straits. So I went and gave them money. I did so many cool things. And it was so much fun. And I was like, this is what it's all about. This is so much fun. You know, going in the grocery store and following somebody around, like looking and seeing who you think might need, you know, and following them in the back of the line and then just saying, I've got this, you know, have a good day. I mean, it was just so fun. And it makes me just so happy. So, but then, you know, now that
people
do what?
How do you pick the people that you're going to help out? Where does that come from?
I just say a prayer. I'm like, just give me somebody that I think needs it. And I will tell you, the grocery shopping, it is hard because you're looking around and there's so many people that you think like, you know, I mean, it's tough. It is tough, but oh my gosh.
So you walk up and just pay for their groceries?
Yeah. So I just walk up and say, I got this. Yes. Just have a good day. And it's so much fun. But then, so now in my mind, I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, how can we do this? And my whole thing is, man, wouldn't it be cool? Because in Wailopo, you get a lot of people that can't afford to get a loan. And there's a lot of people that, you know, there's a lot of people that you talk to that are in dire straits.
Oh yeah.
That need help. Mm-hmm. And they won't be able to get a loan to buy a house. And you feel horrible. You feel sorry for them. So wouldn't it be cool to be able to do a down payment for somebody, or to like somebody in really need, or somebody that couldn't buy a house and then do like some kind of help them down the road with mortgage? You know, Mayor Magic comes in and does something like that. So I have like visions because it's just so much fun. And I just think that's what it's all about.
Doing that? Are you consistently doing that 5% and going out and helping people?
I am. So I'm not giving it away anymore. That's why I'm not giving it away. I haven't given it away in a while. In fact, the other day I was like, I'm going to take $1,000 and go give it, you know, I was going to do it, but we need to do that again. But that's why I gave some money to more of the charity. You know, we're trying, you know, your tax accountant's kind of like, Kim, what the heck are you doing? You know, you got to be, you know.
Track it like that too.
No, it's not tracking it. So you're going to get killed. You know what I mean? So there's definitely some, we got to kind of probably tweak it a little bit. We're working on it.
I think that's amazing because it's like you just surprise people all the time. Like no one's ever walked up and, I mean, I don't need help, but I've never seen anyone walk up and buy someone else's groceries. I think if I ever saw that, it would inspire me to do the same thing. I'd be like, you know, like when you go into a Starbucks line or something and someone's like, oh, they already paid for your drink. And then of course you pay it forward. That's the way it would be in a grocery store, I would imagine. If I saw someone do what you did, I would do that too. I would follow you. I'd be like, I'm going to buy their groceries.
It would be so much. It's just so much fun. It is.
It's
so rewarding to put smiles on people's faces that didn't expect it. You know what I mean? That like, you're changing their life in one way or another. And I feel like everybody that you talk to, if you treat everyone that you talk to each and every day, no matter where they come from, Wailopo, you know, and there's a lot of scams on there. You're talking to a lot of people that, you know,
oh yeah,
treat everyone like just that you needed to talk to them today for whatever reason. And it might not even be about real estate. It might, you know, I mean, I've had some sad stories happen where people that I called, and they were in dire, they can't buy a house, but they needed someone to like vent to, you know, and I listened. I didn't. In fact, my husband one night, he was listening to me, and I got the phone. He goes, "Oh, so you're a psychologist now?" And I'm like, and I understood what he was saying. I mean, I was on the phone for like 35, 40 minutes with this client. I don't mean client, a person. So, you know, talking to them. And I was like, you know, the day that I stopped doing that is the day that Mayor Magic won't be successful. Like that is what life's all about. And I'm never going to stop doing that. And when I don't have time to do that, then that's when I hire a team to come on board. So I do have time to do that because that to me is what life's all about. And that's my purpose and passion, period. So it's not going to stop. It's helping others.
No, and I love it.
Right.
I love that you're going out and doing good things because there's so many people that are, like you said, they're hurting. And then there's so many people that are selfish and, you know, they don't want to let anyone in. They don't want to give anything. It's like, like what we're doing right now, we're helping people. You're giving people tips, you're giving people strategies, you're giving people things that they can do to help their life be better. I went through divorce, I went through all kinds of crap, and I had 3 kids to take care of, and the mortgage industry had crashed, and it was like, I'm not going to go taking handouts anywhere. I'm just going to work my butt off, and I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to make it. And it's just that mindset. But I've always been a tither. I believe in giving. I'm obedient. The Bible says we're to give 10%, and that's what I do. And I believe, like my bookkeeper looked at when she was doing my P&L, and she was like, okay, most people don't tithe this amount of money. And I was like, that's 10%. And she said, yeah, a lot of people don't do that. She said, I do books for people all the time. They usually don't do the whole 10%. And I said, no, but I do. And I'm good with that. And I tithe like 10% of the gross. It's like, because that's what
it's funny. It's great. And that's so amazing that you do that. That's amazing. And a lot of, and what's so great about it is if everybody would just try, you could take $100. You could take $20, to be honest with you. Just take anything and just try it one day. Just go. It is so much fun. Whether you do 10%, 5%, or just $100 one day. It really does put everything back into perspective, and you realize how lucky you really are, so blessed and lucky. And I just think that I don't know. It's just what life's kind of all about, right?
It's the ability to be able to do that. There was a lady here locally that was going through, she was a Hispanic woman. She had kids. She was going through a really bad time. She couldn't pay her bills. She can't do anything. And I'm part of Rotary. And so we'd adopted families at Christmas time. And she was my family that I adopted. And so I got to know her and her family. And so I took care of them for several months. I paid their mortgage and everything. And I was like, I just considered that part of my tithe. I would subtract whatever amount it was. And I would like, I'm helping her directly. And that's what we're supposed to do. And I think this world would be so much better if more people would do that.
Well, it's kind of like that saying, like you hear it all the time, and you don't understand it. The more you give, the more you receive. Right? Yes. So it's kind of weird. I don't know why, why is that? I don't know. But maybe, I don't know. It does work, and I just think it's that positive mindset again.
It is. And, with you and your success already just in year 2, I hope so many new agents watch this and seasoned ones, because there's hope out there. You can do real estate. You have to look what Kim is doing.
You could do it. And it's not, you guys, come on. It's not rocket. Now, each transaction I did learn. People that don't use real estate agents, I don't know how they do it. Because I've had some weird stuff. I can already write a book on the transaction and what has gone on in each and every transaction. There's some weird stuff that's happened on this thing, right? We've had to figure out. And that's your job, to figure it out and how to make it work. But anybody, if you have the right mindset, the thing is, you guys, and I hate this because I'm the most impatient. I am not a patient person. And I get down on I am not patient. I just am like, I want it now.
I get that from you.
I do. I am not patient. And everybody would say, oh my gosh, everybody at Coldwell Banker, when I first started, they're like, you have to be patient. I'm like, I don't want to be patient. I want it now. But it really is true. Think of it like a journey. Okay. And you're on a life journey, and you're going to take some steps forward, and you're also going to take a couple steps back. Sometimes you in your head have to realize that if you do take a couple steps back, you're going to go right back forward again. You just got to stay focused and consistent. It's focus and consistency. And the people that are not, that in real estate can't break through, I think it's just because it takes a long time. It takes a while. It does. It's not an overnight. This industry is tough. It is not easy. It's not. So understand that I've been right there in everybody's shoes. I honestly, not too long ago, and I'm still working through it. It's still a journey. And sometimes I feel like I've done really well and I'm moving right along. And man, there's other times I'm like, we're going backwards, but we're really not going backwards. We're really not.
So when you look back about how when you started your real estate career, which was not even that long ago, is there some things that you wish you wouldn't have done?
I probably spent a lot of money where I shouldn't have, like little things, you get things all the time that they, so you figure out what helps you and what doesn't, and you have to rein in those expenses, because really you could spend so much. Oh my gosh, this industry, you could spend so much more than you make.
Yep.
And I know that I was in the red. I haven't even, taxes are due on the 15th. And I was one of those that procrastinate and wait till the 15th of September.
Me too.
So she's doing it actually today. I've got to get her some stuff, but I guarantee you I was in the red last year. I mean,
Yep.
I had $1 million, a lot more went out than came in. So that's what you have to be careful of. And I think that if an agent, if you guys are on, ask if you have I had something came in on my phone and said, we're doing a 25% referral. We have really good leads. And it was a company. And all I did was search it on, one of my networks. I searched it and it was like, run as fast as you can. I was like, okay. And they texted me again this morning. I go, I'm so sorry, but your reviews, everybody's telling me to run. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry. So you just have to get all the information before you buy something. Ask someone, call someone. You guys are welcome to call me. I mean, call me anytime, because I probably have bought it, and to be honest with you, and stopped it or whatever. I mean, I probably have done a lot, or I know where to go to find the answers if you don't have a network that you can go to or can't find it. I think it's very important before you spend money on something to see if it actually works or what people say. It's very, very, because you can spend all your money and be done.
Oh yeah. People do it all the time.
All the time. Well, I mean, I think I've done it. I mean, I think I did it for a little while,
So what do you think are one or two most important things that agents should be spending money on, in your opinion?
Oh, see, and that's tough, because I am a big believer in finding out what makes you tick. Okay. So if everybody ticked like me and I knew, if everybody had my, liked what I liked, I would say do like a Ylopo or some kind of lead gen that you can build your CRM and have these people on your CRM that you can, get. You might not get them tomorrow, but you're going to get them, and kind of build out a CRM that you can work on. To me, that's really worth it. And it has a website. I mean, you can see exactly what they're doing on your website. It pings you when they looked at a house 3 times. We'll call them. There's a reason why they looked at it 3 times. They probably want to go see it.
Yes.
So for me, if you work it, now listen, I haven't even worked it the way that I should. I really haven't. So there's so much room for me to grow with Ylopo. Has it been good? Yes. Have I had closings from them? Yes. But I haven't even started. I'm just like a baby ready to go. And if you guys want to find out more, and I'm not since you asked me this question, right? If you want to go to Ylopo YouTube, and I did do a little seminar when I was 3 months in to Ylopo. I think I was only on it for 3 months, and I went on their system and talked about a couple things. So you're welcome to go on at YouTube, and I think if you put in Ylopo, Kim Maher, first 3 months or something like that, it'll pop up. It should pop up.
How long have you been using it now?
Probably a year, probably a little under a year. And it's good. I mean, it really is. I see it working. And the cool thing about it is some people actually know. I mean, they know exactly who you are. They're like, oh my gosh, Kim Maher, Maher Magic. Some people are like, I can't even believe you're calling me. They think I'm like this huge.
Then are you spending money on Facebook too? Separately?
Well, they do for you on Facebook. Now now they offer local ads that serve Google local ads. They offer to do it for you. I just did it myself. I just did it myself. So I think the biggest things I would say, as much as people say your CRM is not important, I think your CRM is very important. And I think especially if you work it, I think, and you have to have a good CRM. I would invest in a CRM. If you're a company, get a CRM that is easy for you to work.
Yeah.
If you don't work it, then don't get a CRM. But if you really take the information, it can really help you, right? I mean, I have notes on everybody. I know if there were A, B, or C buyers. I mean, I know everything about them, because you're going to talk to so many people you're not going to remember, right?
Yeah.
And then put them in those groups and work those groups. You have to be successful. I mean, you're going to have success, right?
Yes.
So I would invest, if I was going to invest in anything, I would invest in a good CRM that you like, that you'll work, that you'll actually call. And, whether it's Ylopo or There's other ones. I mean, Ylopo is not. I like Ylopo, and I will say, I mean, I'm a Ylopo fan.
Yeah.
But there are, competitors. Look at all of them and make your decision on what's best for you.
It's similar to Zillow.
To what?
It's similar to Zillow. Having Zillow.
Zillow is more. Your people are more ready to buy. You're basically like, your success with Zillow. Your success with Zillow, or my success with Zillow, came from when they would call and say, I want to go see this property. And you can go to that property because once I got face to face with them and gain their trust, right? Because I would pick out things in the house, good and bad. So they knew they could trust me. Then they went up with me. So that's when Zillow was good. Now, when Zillow wasn't so good was when they call and the house is already on contract. So you can't go see them. And you lost a lot of people because then they don't have a house to see, right? So then it's like, then what? And so Zillow was great for a while when the market wasn't the way that it is now, but with such a low inventory.
Oh yeah,
right?
super hard.
People aren't calling, so you're not getting the phone. So I found for me, it was great for what it was when I first started. I got on a little bit, it wasn't doing much for me anymore, and that's the reason. Houses are going off too quick, and also they're not calling because there's no houses to see.
No.
Right. Mm-mm. So Ylopo is a little different because they might be looking, but they might not be looking to buy for 6 months. It's more top of the funnel, I feel like, than Zillow. You
have to just nurture them and stay in contact with them.
That's right. And if you don't, they're not going to use you, because I found that out yesterday when I called 2 people and they were like, I was like, God. But we're all in this. You're learning, right? And you just take that and you're like, I'm not going to do that again. When they're in the A list, I better be calling their butts, right? So it was my fault, not theirs. And as a matter of fact, one guy felt horrible. He's like, Kim, I want to use you next time. I'll use you, and I know he will. And I actually told him, I said, hey, send me your new address and I'm going to send you a D magazine. Keep in touch. So, you win some and you lose some, but if you work it, I mean, that's the most important thing. You have to it's a grind, y'all. You have to just do it.
Every day.
Every day.
Do you schedule time off?
Okay. So I don't have scheduled days off every week, but I definitely, like last weekend, I was in a lull. So I was, but then I found myself I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I don't sit around very often. I'm not very good with sitting around. But yes, you should schedule days off. Yes. I wish we have a little lake house like an hour and 40 minutes east of Dallas that I love. But I feel like when I go out there, that's when I get the call that, I don't get out there as much as I would like to. But the next step would be I need to take some time off for yourself, because it's very important as well. So
it is. And as our season changes and the market shifts a little bit, it was crazy there for a while. We'd never seen a market like that ever. And now especially here in Houston, it's starting already to shift back to a more balanced market. I think you guys are feeling it there in Dallas too.
We are. We totally are. Absolutely. Absolutely. Your buyers probably have gotten another lease. Yep. I've been working with a lot of first-time home buyers. So we have 90%, 95% have been new first-time home buyers for me.
Okay.
And I will say a lot of them are like, I'm signing another 6-month lease. If I find a house I like, I can break it. If I don't, type thing. So it's the urgency is not there anymore.
No.
Mm-mm. And in May, it was like, I need a house tomorrow. It was great. It's like, we got to find a house. I needed to be yesterday. Yeah. Now it's kind of shifted. And I think the buyers are like kind of tired. They're like, let me just sign up for another 6-month lease, a year lease, and see what happens. And then I think this COVID variant, I think it's helped sellers back now because our inventory is so low. So we need to take this time, right? And instead of cry about it, we're going to focus on things that we haven't been able to focus on.
That's right.
So that's what I am doing. We're focusing, we're getting back organized. We're going to focus, I'm going to focus on what I hadn't been able to do.
Yep.
So, okay, I'm going to leave everybody with this. I want to tell everybody this. So if there's 2 books you're going to read, is that a question you were going to ask me? Because
it is, yes.
Okay. Okay, so 2 good books. 12 Weeks a Year is a great one.
I've heard that one.
Okay, so read that one. It's good.
Okay.
And it's kind of under the premise that, look, we all make our New Year's goals, and nobody ever does them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have them for a month and then they're thrown out the window.
Right.
This is like basically taking 12 weeks. What do you want to do? For instance, and I'm giving myself a little leeway. It's funny because I have a little bit more than 12 weeks to the end of the year, but I was like, I'm going to give myself a little leeway because I've been so it's for me, it's for here to the end of the year, but let's just say it's 12 weeks.
Okay.
I want 15 more transactions.
Okay.
And then it asks, how are you going to get there? Right. So then you break it down. And for me, the first time I did this 12 weeks a year and I followed it, I realized I put way too many things on this paper. Like there's no way I could, it's just, but so you understand that you have to knock it down. But what you're basically doing is taking your goal and figure out how you're going to get there. Right.
Love them. Writing it down.
Okay.
That sounds so cool.
Yes. And then when you hit your goal, and y'all, I always hit it. I mean, I've hit it every time. It's crazy. When you hit your goal, then what you do is you celebrate. You take a couple days off and go somewhere, or you do something, but give yourself some grace and like celebrate what you did the prior 12 weeks. And it's kind of like a diet. You're going to hate it. Like it's so hard to stick to this plan. But once you get going, like that third month, you're going to be so excited. So I would read that. And then Never Split the Difference is one that I'm reading now that's really good.
I've heard that one. I've not read that one either, but I've heard that.
I'm in the middle of it. And what I did realize is, I'm doing a lot of what I'm doing it, what they're saying to do already. But if you can read that and take things from that, that's another really, really good book to read.
Are you reading every day?
Probably not. No, but probably, I've been turning off the news. The news has been so depressing lately, to be honest. It's getting in my head. I can't, I just get a little worked up. So I have not watched the news. I'm trying to turn it off at night before I go to bed. Right. So I've been reading instead. And it helps my mind. Right. Cause I know I want a positive mindset. So I'm going to, instead of watching the news and everything that's going on, we're going to stay focused and do something positive. Right.
So you said 15 more transactions. What is that in sales volume? What are you hoping to end this year with in sales volume?
I want another, I'd like to end with 20.
Love that.
I would like to end with 20, and that would be double what my goal was. But yes, but I want 15 more transactions. I don't know why I picked 15. I don't know why I picked 15. I just thought,
why not?
So I have this is funny. Hold on. So I give this bottle. So I give this champagne bottle for my closings, right? And I have Mayor Magic engraved in it. It's pretty cool. Everybody seems to love it.
How'd you get to do that?
Just a local guy does it for me. I mean, it's awesome. I kind of wish that I always say, hey, you can make it into a candle afterwards, because then they can see my name for a year,
Yeah.
So it's all right away, but okay. So anyway, but I have 15 of these left, right? So I know when you see my thing back there. I mean, it looks pretty cool. So that's the deal. That's how I count how many more I've got to go, is my champagne bottles and what I have there, right? So we've got some champagne bottles to do. So
you're so good. I just love it. And you're only in year 2. This is amazing.
It's so much fun. It's just, it's so much fun. And the people I've met are just so amazing. And it's just, I can't imagine my life any different at this moment, right? I mean, we're getting older. I'm turning 50 next. I've got a year on the big 50. We got to do the best with what we've got, and life is short. You realize how short life is, and how are you going to be, what are you here for? What are you on this earth for? And for me, it's just bringing magic into people's lives, whether it's with real estate or not real estate. And that's all I could do. Right. And so, I mean, our life's kind of, we're going to have fun the second half. I'm telling you that. I'm going to have a good second half. I'm looking forward to being an empty nester. I got to tell you, I'm like, my husband and I are like, oh my gosh.
Love it.
So I'm going to look forward to it and grow old gracefully and just do the best I can with what I got. That's all I can do.
Help as many people as you can, because that's what you're doing.
That's right. That's all I can do.
Love it. Kim, you are so amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Your energy is awesome. I hope everybody got tons of information. I'm sure that they did. And this will be on YouTube, and this will be everywhere. And of course, we'll be sharing it all over databases. So you guys got to check out Kim Maher.
I mean, Trish, I got to tell you, I told you this before we started. She's like my idol, y'all. She is. You're so adorable. And I so appreciate you putting me on this program today.
I love it. Definitely. You guys make sure to reach out to Kim or I if y'all need anything, and y'all have an amazing day.
You guys got this. You got it. All right.
Bye, y'all.